Customizing training for individuals using CLA for BJJ. Thank you for joining me on this, my journey into the constraints-led approach for BJJ. I am your host, Sam Battlefields, and today we'll be looking at customizing the learning experience for individuals in BJJ using CLA. Let's compare the pedagogies again and see which one has a more targeted individual focus. Spoiler alert, it ain't the information processing traditional approach. Let's say we're working on straight ankle locks in this comparison class. In the CLA class, we played games around the single and the double ashy leg entanglement. There were three main objectives for the person who was looking to escape. 1, get their knee below the TV dinner line. 2, get the thigh outside the knee line. And 3, stand on the foot being attacked. Person controlling the leg was allowed to have one arm starting around the leg and the other arm had to be free, but they could then attack from there. During this game, my students are learning how to control and defend against a live opponent. And when they swap for variability in practice, they are able to experience differing body types and tactics when it comes to defense and offense. For battlefields, that doesn't teach a straight ankle lock. Wrong. Idiot. All the things you need to know in order to pull off a straight ankle lock are just there. Let's look at the information processing traditional class. In this class, you'll learn how to get into a single leg ashy with no resistance. You'll learn how to wrap your arm around a leg, maybe even with a cheeky, if you do this special sauce, it'll make it easier. You'll also be given the put the toes in your armpit speech, because this is very important. Either too deep or too shallow, and it's not on. I'm not being facetious there either. Then you'll learn that the blade of your wrist should be against the Achilles, or just above the Achilles, or below it, on an angle, or perfectly perpendicular, depending on who's teaching it. You then clasp your hands together in a guillotine-style grip, or an S-grip, or you don't even need a grip, you can do it one-armed. Then you'll learn that there is a specific method of arching your back that creates the maximum amount of torque, or that you shouldn't arch your back in any way because it minimizes the torque, or that it should be arched, but only when Gemini is in retrograde, or if you buy my tutorial. All this to learn that if you put a fulcrum behind the ankle and then push the toes over that fulcrum, you might hurt them.
Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory.
I'll be upfront. Years ago, I got done with a straight ankle lock in my first white belt comp. The rules had literally just changed and I had never seen them in the gym. Years later, the guy who did it to me, being a black belt that came and did a seminar at my gym on straight ankle locks. Thinking it was a bit of a dig, I asked him if it was because when I was DQ'd, I yelled in his face, "What the fuck, bro?" He said he didn't even remember the match.
Emotional damage!
And I realized I wasn't even a blip on his radar. Here's another thing that is somewhat self-deprecating. I chose the BFG as an alternative moniker for a couple of reasons. These reasons help me turn people French when I'm on top. During his seminar, I was unable to pull off this straight ankle lock variation that he was showing. He assured me I was absolutely capable of it. I proved to him that I was not, that a personal constraint was getting in the way. Let's not dwell on what that personal constraint may or may not be, or is or currently isn't, but let's just say it's soft and squashy and it's right in front of me all the time. Wait.
Ooh, you're hard.
Wait, no, my stomach was getting in the way. Literally, his response was, here's a variation where you don't need to get your second hand involved. I have countless examples of this throughout my training career. I'll be struggling to do something, the coach, a thin and flexible bastard, would be like, just do this, and then looking at me with disgust because I wasn't able to act like a fucking contortionist. Butterfly guard was a great example of this. All these flexible people going, all you need to do is get your hips all the way under and then lift them up. And not once could I make that happen. Fast forward to when I started playing with CLA, I'm getting butterfly sweeps every day, mainly because I'm not following some internally cued, just get your hips under, bro. It's because I played around in that position and found the things that I can and cannot do. So how do I customize the training from individuals using CLA in BJJ? We play games that provide a landscape of opportunity from which an individual can choose what to experiment with or become more efficient at. Then when I review with each student and experience the game with them, I'm able to identify and bring attention to that which is likely to help help them in their future endeavors. A good example of this came up this morning. One of my students is tall, one of my students is short. I'm in the middle of them. Wait, they have vastly different requirements when they're executing objectives. And this is reflected in the games, as with the leg entanglement game this morning. Will, the tall one, once you attach to his hip, his knee is well above the TV dinner line. Ridwan, the short one, when you attach to his hip, his knee is pretty much gone past the TV dinner line. By providing those three objectives from before, they are able to test out which escape is best for them and how to implement it for their body type. Will chose to stand on his foot that was being attacked, as it would appear to him that the TV dinner line was a bridge too far, and double ashy kind of negates getting out of the knee line, while Ridwan was able to easily free his knee from the TV dinner line and get up and crush over. The best thing is there was experimentation on all accounts, test and measure. This is why CLA is superior for teaching individuals, because it allows individuals to explore their own capabilities. If you think that I'm wrong, I'd love to have you on. Go to battlefieldsgrappling.com.au and fill in the form. The rest of you, like, comment, subscribe.